Have you ever had to choose between money and family loyalty? I'm sure many of us have been in situations where we had to make tough decisions, but for my brother, this choice was one that would change our relationship and family dynamics forever. My name is Camila, and I'll be sharing a personal story about my brother's decision to prioritize money over family loyalty and the consequences that followed. Growing up, my brother and I were incredibly close. We shared a bond that only siblings can understand. We went through all the ups and downs of childhood and adolescence together, supporting each other through thick and thin. Our family was always very close-knit, with family loyalty being a core value that our parents instilled in us from a young age. But as we grew older, I started to notice a change in my brother's priorities. He became more focused on financial success, often talking about the importance of making money and achieving financial stability. My brother had always been ambitious, but I never thought his drive for success would lead him to prioritize it over our family. It started with small things, like him choosing to work on weekends instead of spending time with us, and gradually escalated to bigger decisions. One of the key moments that stood out was when our family was going through a tough time and we needed his help. He had the opportunity to help us out, but instead he chose to invest in a business venture that promised high returns. I remember feeling frustrated and hurt by his decision, but I tried to understand his perspective. He believed that this investment would secure his financial future and provide for our family in the long run. But as time went on, it became clear that his priorities had shifted, and family loyalty was no longer at the forefront of his mind. He would often talk about how he was doing it all for us, but it felt like he was just using that as an excuse. The tension between us grew, and our conversations became strained. We would argue about his choices, and I would try to make him see that there was more to life than just money.
If you think family betrayal hurts, wait until you hear my next story, the day my closest friends didn't show up to my wedding. Subscribe now, because sometimes the most painful betrayals don't come from family, but from those we called friends. Would your friends show up? Subscribe plus hit the bell. Next video. My friends didn't come to my wedding. The pivotal moment came when our parents needed help with a serious family issue. My brother had the opportunity to be there for them, but he chose to ignore their needs and focus on his business. I was devastated by his decision, and it felt like a betrayal. He didn't seem to care about the impact his actions had on our family, and it hurt me deeply. My brother's reaction was cold and dismissive, and it made me realize just how far apart we had grown. The emotions were raw, and it was clear that our relationship would never be the same. In that moment, I knew that he had made his choice, and I had to accept it. It was a painful realization, but I understood that some wounds run too deep to heal. The aftermath of his decision was difficult to navigate. Our relationship became strained, and family gatherings felt awkward. It was clear that his choice had created a rift between us, and it was hard to know how to bridge the gap. The rest of the family was also affected, and it was painful to see our parents hurt by his absence. As time passed, my brother faced consequences for his actions. His business venture failed, and he was left with nothing but regret. He reached out to me and our family, trying to mend fences, but the damage had been done. It took a long time, but eventually we started to rebuild our relationship, albeit not to what it once was. Reflecting on his choice, I realized that it was a harsh lesson in the importance of family loyalty. My brother's story serves as a reminder that money can't replace the love and support of family. It's a lesson that I'll carry with me for the rest of my life, and one that I hope others can learn from. Family loyalty is about being there for each other, through thick and thin, and it's something that can't be bought or sold. In the end, my brother's choice taught us all a valuable lesson about what truly matters in life. If you have a similar story or experience, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more personal happy stories and insights, and I'll catch you in the next video.